Welcome to the Drowning in Pools podcast, episode 82.
82.
With me are my co-hosts, Cameron and Derek.
Hello.
And I am the Urban Buddha, Deshaun.
You are indeed.
What's up, guys? How was your 2, 3, 4 days?
Yeah.
Getting adjusted to patches.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing about new patches for Grand Blue.
Mm-hmm. I did hear about that. I actually heard about the first place I heard about that Grand Blue patch was like some Japanese account I follow, just posting a bunch of like Japanese shit. I was like, what the hell? I can't read any of this, and I have to translate it all.
Yeah. Like my friend sent me all the translated notes, and I'm just like, oh boy, I'm excited. But yeah, like, so I've been playing a shit ton of Power Rangers like normal. Like, that just does not change. I've been playing a fuck ton of Among Us as well. Mm-hmm. That game is so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Among Us kind of just slipped into the zeitgeist without me noticing, and now there's like a million memes about it.
Yep.
And I feel like I'm a little too late to get in or give a shit.
You're not too late to get in. Like, if you ever want to play, let me know. I'll just get a group together.
It's only like $6 on Steam or whatever, isn't it? Maybe I'll play
Yeah,
it.
it's also
like
free
$5.
on phones.
I'm not going to play it on my phone.
But,
Play it on an emulator.
That is true.
that is true.
That's
a good point. But, the Among Us is one of my favorite games right now, just because it allows people to use their brains and not realize they're actually like outthinking people.
Yeah. Even just from like all the crazy memes I've seen, it looks like it has a lot of like depth and complexity. At least in the like player versus player aspect, where
it has as much depth as you can put into it.
Yeah.
So like if there's baby mode, there's hardcore mode, and then there's I hope you're a detective mode.
Okay.
Obviously, that's only as good as your other players. So if your other players are like kind of shit, then it's just kind of like, yeah, you're the killer either way.
Right. Yeah.
I've had some good rounds. I've had some bad rounds. Everybody has that. But the most fun part about the game is literally no matter how innocent you are, you probably still sound sus.
Well, that's the nature of like I don't even know what is like the Thing or something. Is that what is it like some kind of monster or killer or something? Imposter.
It's just called the Imposter.
Okay.
It's just yeah.
But that's the deal when it's like a thing you can't identify because it can just look like anybody. It could just be anybody. You can't trust anybody, and everybody seems like suspect.
Yeah, I think the best part. I think one of the good ideas they had was that the killer has unique animations, and they're like 7,000, like not 7,000. There's like 8 different animations for it, but it's interesting enough because you don't know what kind of imposter it is. Because have you seen the detailed explanations of what the imposter looks like on the inside?
Mm-mm. Oh,
there's some.
Isn't it? Wait, is it not? No, I'm thinking of the Fall Guys thing where it's like a person riding a mecha around or whatever.
Yeah, so it's something similar to that, except they do the little slice where it's like mid-run, but showing you all the internal
inside,
organs,
yeah.
and it's like there's a small mechanical arm holding a gun. There's its tongue, which is this giant dagger. It's like all these little parts all compiled into this small little dude, and I'm like, damn, that's actually really well drawn.
That's pretty cool.
Because artists are crazy like that and have. Just imagine a mecha and how detailed it is, but for a small little space dude.
Yeah, just really. It's like, well, I mean, there's stuff like that. There's like small. I can't think what it's called. Like Gurren has that, and then there's literally something else that's very specifically like that, where the robots literally look like kind of like Fall Guys or like the Among Us guys.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's fucking called, but yeah, I like taking all the complexity of a giant mecha and then smashing it down to one little small space.
Yep. But yeah, so like Among Us has been a good time. The way we've been explaining it to other FGC heads is that this game, if you don't have neutral, you're going to be ass. Because it's literally just like, is he going to do this or is he not? All right, cool. And then like an hour later, you're getting stabbed in the back by him because you thought he was innocent the entire time. You're just hanging out with him.
Stay next to him. That's like mad spirits in Dark Souls 3, where they can either attack you or help you.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's almost exactly what it's like. So I've been playing that. I started playing Neon Tail again.
Yeah, I saw that.
That game is interesting.
I started playing the demo like a week ago, and I was like, man, not really feeling this.
I'm not feeling the music. Like I like the music, and then it's just like it hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's a little repetitive after a while.
They don't have a auto change feature in it yet. I don't think so. It plays the same song over and over again, and that one song is not quite as catchy as Jet Set Radio.
I was gonna say, you think a fucking game that's trying to be a Jet Set Radio send up would have fucking great music? You think it would like make the music a bigger part of?
Yeah, I don't think the music's bad, but it's just there needs to be more of it. I think there just needs to be more of it, and they need to have it cycle.
I guarantee you, and this is gonna be the comparison for a while. Plus that other game, but I guarantee you, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is gonna understand this and make the game make the music a huge part of the game.
Well, they hired Hideki Naganuma, so.
I bet they didn't hire shit. I bet Hideki Naganuma just showed up to the office one day.
You know
and was
what?
Like, hey guys, I'm making some music for your game.
You're not wrong. So he already made music for them before.
Yeah.
And when they probably mentioned to him that they're making a Jet Set Radio send up, he's like, I'm in.
Yeah. Hell yeah. He's like, hell yeah, I'll make music for you guys. He
so
fucking loves the Lethal League guys.
I
Team
follow him on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
And probably about a month ago, he tweeted out, how would you guys like to hear some electro swing my style?
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, because electro swing is literally my favorite genre. And I'm like, yes, yes, please.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Yeah. I mean, just the little small updates we get me excited. Just the designs of everything and the it's gonna be good.
But yeah, so
it's so weird because there are like 2 or 3 other like Jet Set Radio send up games, and they all just kind of got overshadowed by Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Like
instantly,
they had been out and they had been announced for like months and months or whatever. And then when Bomb Rush Cyberpunk came out, everybody acted like those games didn't exist, and like Bomb Rush was the first game to fucking be a send up Jet Set Radio. It's so funny.
It's saddening, but at the same time, you're just like, but look at it though.
It's because as soon as you saw it, you're like, oh, this is gonna be the best one.
This is it. This is it. Like in your heart and soul, you can understand the concept of love.
Yeah, yeah. You seeing it and you're like, okay, well, it's Team Reptile, so you know they're basically they basically just inherited the spirit of the real deal Jet Set Radio, and there's gonna be no contest between it and Neon Tail and whatever else.
Although I don't think Neon Tail's exactly going for like Jet Set Radio specifically.
Not exactly, but there's nothing else that you can really compare it to.
Exactly, yeah. But the thing I still want to say about it is though the way they do the movement and stuff, I still thoroughly enjoy it. Like there's obviously some issues, and it's not out yet. It's fully in beta. There's a team of 4. Yeah. I back them on Patreon. Team of 4, I think it's 4. And they're just slowly working at it, putting in it more and more new stuff every time. So like last time I played it compared to now, there's more already, and there's a lot more like it feels better already. Like they just added a couple things here and there, and it feels better.
Yeah, I think either way, I'll just buy Neon Tail just to support them, just because I do still like the game, and I do like the fact that somebody is trying to do this. So.
Yeah, and so it's a unique way of moving.
Yeah.
Moving.
Yeah, because that's what kind of draws me to these games is like the movement is like it has to. It's like the movement, the potential of it is what really gets me excited for these games because they can feel absolutely insanely amazing.
Because I think they can take this movement that they have and put it into a drift game.
Oh yeah.
Like, imagine a what's it called? What's the anime? Initial D with that kind of movement.
Do you like my car? Yeah.
Just drifting around corners with that kind of movement.
That'd be rad.
Pretty sick.
Speaking of drift, there were like a bunch of I didn't know this, but I guess there are a bunch of like racing drift games that just get canceled all the fucking time.
Really?
Like left and right, yeah. like demos will come out, or like shit like that will come, or like a trailer will come out, and then or like a Kickstarter will go up, and then the game will just never come out, or the game will get canceled. It's super weird.
That sucks.
Like all these games that could be shitting all over these fucking Forzas and whatever lame ass boring racing games, and they just aren't coming out.
Do you think it's because like somewhere down development the drift just breaks and like they can't figure out why?
Well, I mean, one was because one of the lead dev was like a psychopath, and everybody just kind of quit. So it's a myriad of things. It's just bad luck. It's like fighting games or Skullgirls.
Yeah.
It's just cursed.
I was gonna say I didn't know Lab Zero did drifting.
Damn.
So fucked up.
Hey man, it's true.
It is. I think other than that though, I really haven't done too much. I did take a look into them fighting herds. I didn't play it, but I watched a good little bit of it. My Jesus, I didn't think those combos were that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of insanely long.
They're kind of insane.
They're basically Dragon Ball combos, but furry.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm all about that shit.
Oh, I remember what else I played this week. I played Getting Over It with Ben and Body.
Oh god damn it! I hate that game.
Really? How was that?
It's actually a lot of fun.
I bet it is. Games like that are either infuriating or really fun.
Like, after playing it for 40 minutes and lost like a ton of progress, I was like, all right, done with this game.
Yeah.
But I left with a smile on my face, and that's the good.
It's one of those games you aren't really meant to beat. You're meant to play it, get kind of like a good chuckle out of it, and then put it down.
You say
like,
that,
I want to go play Jump King now.
but like, there are people speedrunning that game.
Yeah, the
There are
psychopaths. But there are people who speedrun fucking everything.
That's true.
Yeah. The fastest time for Getting Over It is like 1:28 or something like that.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Absolutely insane. That mouse control. And I also realized that I need a better mouse pad if I want to play that game. Because in order to get my mouse to actually read properly, it moves my mouse pad at the same time. So I played that. And that game is it's a game. It's most definitely a game.
Is it a good game or a fun game or a...
I think it puts a smile on your face.
Yeah.
I think that's about as far as I can say.
I've only ever seen like video of it, so... But I know it's like playing like QWOP or something where it's meant to be frustrating as fuck because the controls are insane.
Yeah, I will say it's the movement for it is nowhere near as hard as people make it out to be. It's just the doing it properly is the thing that's
You
hard.
can
But
fuck
like,
up and lose all your progress.
but like, I watched the video a bunch of times, and every time I see it, they're all like flailing about and like getting really frustrated and like shaking the mouse super fast to try to make it work. I'm like, okay, of course you're fucking up. You are literally just spamming the mouse.
You're literally just not doing the correct thing. You're literally just not doing anything. Yeah.
That's how people play first-person shooters when you hand them a controller, though. Let's be real.
Just start spinning around and firing the gun.
Yeah, and then they wonder how people find them.
Why didn't I kill anybody?
And you were shooting at the floor.
Yeah. Good times.
But that's all you did, Cameron?
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Didn't do too much else. I've been watching a bunch of anime, but like God of High School is ridiculous.
I'm probably gonna catch up here soon. I've been watching it. I've been keeping up.
It gets to like it goes from like 8 to 11.
Wait,
really
like
fast?
Like in quality or like just in intensity?
Intensity.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's fucking hype, and that's what matters.
Here's the thing about something like God of High School. Like, these are all just regular people, but the instant they start doing, like, you know, kicks that are so strong they can fucking shatter the concrete and destroy buildings and shit and do all kinds of insanity. Like, once it gets to that point, it's hard to believe that they live in, like, a regular world. Like,
Yeah. No,
because
I mean,
Because this isn't like a secret underground martial artist thing. This is like a huge tournament that they hold that thousands upon thousands of people watch, right? So wouldn't these insanely powerful people just be ruling the earth or whatever?
So to be fair, it's not necessarily a spoiler because they mentioned it super early, but this is the first time they've ever held a tournament like this.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Okay.
And another thing is, I won't spoil. Or you don't care about spoilers, do you?
I really don't give a shit.
Derek, do you care about spoilers?
Nah.
Okay. So I don't know the greatest detail about this, but the people who can do all the crazy, powerful, ridiculous shit is because a spirit or god or creature of power has accepted them into their power. So not everybody could just learn how to do this. It's like you could spend millions or like thousands and thousands of hours training, and you'll still never achieve these powers if the creature spirit thing doesn't go. Yeah, you get to use my power.
Okay. Weird.
That
it feels like it tries to like have its cake and eat it too, where it tries to be a story about regular people, but also they have like ridiculously insane powers that make you can't believe that they're regular people. Like, there's no way. Like,
so
obviously the main character is not a regular person, but like regular chick with a sword, you know, who
yeah,
can
like
suddenly
so.
do all this shit. It's like, all right, you're not a regular person.
Yeah,
or,
I was gonna
or,
say, like,
or the dude who just punches shit because his friend is sick or whatever. He's so fucking ridiculously strong.
Yeah, he is. His bones are just stronger. But
Drinks his milk.
the thing
bro.
about this show that I didn't realize, I couldn't figure out until recently, was can everybody see all the ridiculous shit that's going on?
Like all the magic shit.
Yeah.
Kind of like in a Demon Slayer
this-
where that all that magic shit isn't real. It's just stylistic effect.
Gotcha. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, so you don't find out until the last episode that just came out that everybody sees that shit and they're all freaking out about it.
Okay. Well, at least those fights are probably cool.
The fights are cool. Yeah. I'll give you, that's the important part for these kind of animes.
Yeah, are the fights cool at least? Alright, I gotta invest myself too heavily in it then.
And it's like, Naruto's story is kind of but when Rock Lee opens the
Kinda.
8th gate,
Bro, Rock Lee opening one of the gates is so
Or-
fucking hype that dudes still talk about that shit like it's the coolest shit ever. Like,
because it is the
people think Naruto is good because of that one moment. Because they didn't keep up with the series for the 15 years afterwards.
Well, because I mean, that's the one character in the entire show that you're like, man, he's been dealt a terrible hand.
Has he? Dude, the first thing we see him do is beat up Sasuke, who's a fucking prodigy.
And then the second thing you see him do is beat up Gaara.
Like, everybody's like, oh, Rock Lee's got it so tough. He kicks the fuck out of, like, the coolest dudes in the arc every single time.
No. I'm just saying he's been dealt a bad hand. He's not doing bad with it.
God, like, man, what a disaster. You can't use a little bit of jutsu. Uh-oh.
A little bit. You mean
Proceeds to whoop the fuck out of
literally
everybody.
all of it.
Look, that requires training.
Technically, opening the gates is a jutsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a taijutsu. It's not.
Yeah, still.
You're still opening your key points.
He just can't do hand seal shit.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a big nerd. Or not a big nerd. He's a
No,
big dummy.
he's a nerd in that universe.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah, he is. He's the
taijutsu?
big
Oh
dork,
my!
yeah.
You know taijutsu.
He's that guy that's like constantly doing like martial arts shit when you're just kind of hanging out or like you're at the grocery store and he's talking about
He's
the
walking.
belt he got.
He's walking through the grocery store on his hands and holding the basket with his feet.
Rock Lee is that guy that won't stop talking about the things his coach told him.
Yep.
Literally.
But still, like, Rock Lee, he fucking fight, like, he I can't think of a single time, maybe, no, the only time he ever really had, like, a down moment was when he fucking was gonna lose the ability to be a ninja. But then even that was like, nah, so now I just kind of fixed him. Now he's fine.
That's also another thing I hate in anime, but I also love, is that, no, you're fine now.
Yeah, like, they make a huge deal out of somebody getting hurt, and then, like, the next episode, or, like, 2 episodes later, they're completely fine.
In his defense, it was like 20 episodes later, but yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like it's a thing I hate but love because I hate when the main character is injured and useless, but then at the same time you're just like, but you can't just fix him because if you just fix him, there's no consequences, and we all know how that goes.
Like with Rock Lee, he comes back, like he's sick, and then like Tsunade works on him. At least they say he shouldn't be out fighting or whatever, but I mean, he goes out and fights Kimimaro, who's like, they say he's stronger than the entirety of the Sound Four combined, so he still goes out and fights that dude, and then is essentially totally fine.
Yeah, and then he's finding Shippuden, so it's just like...
Yeah, and then he's just completely fine Shippuden, so there's no real consequences for him getting hurt, you know? If it was like, yeah, I'm a little off my step, I can't do this technique the way I used to or whatever, or there was like a scar or some shit, or you had to, I don't know, like he had to walk with a cane when it was cold because his fucking bones hurt or something, like... But no, he's just totally fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's strong.
Good thing we got Tsunade, and it's not still the third Hokage hanging around because fucking Rock Lee be in a wheelchair for the rest of his damn life.
Making ramen for Naruto.
Oh, that would be so bad.
I mean, in the post Naruto stuff, that's basically kind of what happens to some of the characters. They go from being pretty cool to just being... Like, I think Anko, who's like this cool snake lady, is now kind of just this fat, like, sweet seller. She just kind of sells pastries.
Okay.
At least she's consistent. She's always loved pastries.
Yeah, she has always loved the sweets, so... You know.
Well, at least it's consistent.
She, like, retires and becomes, like, a... But it's weird, because she's only, like 20... Well, I guess she's like, older than Naruto and crew, but, like, by the time she retires, she can't be any older than, like, 30, 32.
What's the time skip for Boruto?
Boruto?
Yeah. Because Anko is
Naruto?
25 in the original series.
Yeah. I want to say, like, Boruto himself was, like, 12, 13, or some shit like that.
So
it can only be within that time frame.
So she'd be like 40.
By now, yeah.
Yeah.
By that point. Or close to.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, it's 15 after the jump to Shippuden. She was already like 28 there.
That's true.
Like
that's
27 or something. So yeah, she'd be about 40. That's assuming Naruto and Hinata got right on that shit.
I think we've talked about this before, but like with the way all the kids are kind of born like at the same time in the same year in Boruto,
Yes.
makes me kind of suspicious.
They
I mean, everybody
have
just
orgies.
like after that war, everybody just got fucking busy.
You know what it is? You know what it is, right?
What?
Government issued population increased.
I would not be surprised. They like the villages are all like, all right, we lost a lot of people, like a lot of people.
We need to start increasing our forces again.
I mean, that's literally how it went with World War I and World War II. They waited 20 years to to get a new generation of soldiers just so they could have another war.
so weird. It's so creepy to think about.
I mean, that's what they do.
I mean, look, the only way it's not creepy is they go, okay, we're just gonna give you a sum of money if you have a child, which is still creepy, but it's less creepy.
I mean, is that any more creepy than limiting how many children you can have, or going to your house and paying you to have no children, or whatever?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
It's pretty the same thing. Like,
it's still just as creepy.
When you really think about the Naruto world, you really gotta realize just how fucked up it kind of is.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing, too, that I think you guys are not realizing is that they just had a ginormous war. Now what are they
I guess
gonna
they're
do?
all happy.
Yeah, what
they're
are they
all
going to do?
excited.
They have nothing else to do besides fuck.
Yeah.
Like, now's the time.
I mean, they could also, rebuild all those villages that got destroyed.
I mean,
There's
you
time
can
for
do that
that.
in between.
Yeah.
You can do that in between. Like,
You could
look,
establish.
you're
Honestly,
not building a barn at night.
to me, after a war, you don't have time to fuck. To me, you got too much shit, especially after this war, where like a bunch of people died, all the Hokages essentially retired because they got fucked up so bad. So you have a bunch of regime changes going on. So you have a bunch of laws that need to be changed. You have all these fucking tailed beasts running around, so you need to do something about that. You got fucking Sasuke's bitch ass running around that you had to run around. Naruto has to run around to all the fucking Kages and be like, please don't kill my homie. Please don't kill Sasuke. He has to fucking beg for a pardon. He wouldn't have time to do anything with Hinata until like way later.
He's got a clone.
That's true. literally, that is a plot point in Boruto.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
ridiculous.
Where like his dad's not actually hanging out with his
that's
son.
that's why I kind of like Boruto. That's so fucking something Naruto would do. He's been doing that his entire fucking life. Of course he would do it. He would do that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Dude's a nerd.
Dude's an asshole.
Yeah, like I said.
Dude's a great dad and a bad dad.
Both.
Because he's
He's
not
both
there, but he
Goku
is
and
there.
Piccolo at the same
Yeah,
time.
pretty much. Well, Sasuke's Piccolo in Boruto. Because he's literally training Boruto.
Yeah.
What a shit series. Anyway. I guess I'll start with my week. I only did like 3 things maybe. I played more Hades. I just beat it a couple more times. I think I gotta beat it a certain number of times before I get the true ending, because apparently there are credits. There is an ending that I can just hit by raw doing it, so I'm sure eventually I'll get there. I started watching this movie called The Guillotines, which is about this special assassination squad that works for like the Chinese emperor or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they have these swords that are just like spinning blades. That like the sword is like a regular curved sword, but then they can open up the sword and make like this weird circular saw come out of the sword that they can then throw at guys and cut their heads off.
Okay.
It's super weird, and the actual mechanism and the actual thing itself doesn't make any fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's still cool. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure this is it's like stealth sequel almost to the Flying Guillotines, which is essentially about the same thing. This dude invents like the original Flying Guillotine was like a kind of like bucket shaped thing that you would put over someone's head, and then you would like pull a switch, and then it would cut their head off. That's basically what the original thing was, and he created like the assassins unit, and then they get betrayed by their emperor, and they all basically get killed. So kind of the same thing happens here in this version of the movie. Excuse me. They all die except for like one dude who is the main character, who's like the special one, I'm gonna say I only got like 2/3 through this movie, and it was very boring, very dry. It was just kind of not enough. Like the kind of the character aspects of it were good, where there was like this conflict between them. Like the main character has this conflict between this guy he grew up with, who works directly for the emperor, and the other guillotines, who are like the guys he grew up with, who he did all his training with. And, he kind of he sees them as his brothers.
Okay.
So he's kind of torn between those two worlds, and all that stuff's well and good. There's this crazy fucking guy named Wolf, who's like this prophet, and he's weird, and he convinces like the main character essentially to join his rebel force. Like the movie is not bad. It's just long. It's a little too long, I feel. Like when
the slow pacing, is that what the issue?
It's
not
just
even
bloated.
It's like the pacing is fine. It's just it feels like we're running around. It feels like the movie runs around in circles a lot. It feels like we're going back to the same places and just kind of seeing the same shit we already saw, or we're being told stuff that we really didn't need to be told.
Gotcha.
So maybe I'll finish it. I got like 40 minutes left. The coolest thing about the movie definitely is like the guillotine weapon itself, because it does crazy shit. Like there's like that when there's the cinematography is really good, and whenever they show like them using the weapons, there's like usually this close up that shows the blade coming out of the sword, and then it turning into a circle, and then them throwing it, and there's like a close up of it traveling to the guy's neck, and then it jumps into a close up of inside the circular saw, and all the little mechanisms turning and churning and doing all their things and cutting the guy's head off. All that stuff's really, the style is really nice. I just wish the kind of, plotting and the story and the writing was a little better.
Okay.
And then I watched Wrath of the Vajra. I tried watching this like a few years ago, but I just couldn't get through it because I just wasn't in the mood to watch it. But this is basically a bunch of dudes who worship a death god trained a bunch of guys who are gonna basically help them take over the world. So a guy who I don't fucking know. The movie treats him like a character I should know. Like I should just know who this guy is. It doesn't really explain who he is at all. So he just he shows up on the secret island, and there's a lot of like, Chinese nationalism, Japanese imperialism shit going on in the movie. That kind of goes on in like all kind of kung fu movies.
Yeah.
But so our hero goes there and this guy has literally zero character. Literally nothing is going on in this dude's head other than I'm gonna punch some stuff and maybe kick it and then maybe also knee it a couple times, because that's all he there's no moment where he gives like a, not necessarily a speech, but like just a kind of breakdown of who he is or like what his goals are. There's never like basically the only thing he wants to do. He literally keeps saying this over and over again. He just goes, "I'm here for the children. I'm here for the children. I'm here for the children. I'm here for the children." That's kind of it. That's
Maybe he's a Pokemon in disguise.
I believe, and like I was saying with the guillotines, I think this movie is like a send up to Bruce Lee films, specifically like Enter the Dragon and like Game of Death.
Okay.
Because the dude is he's stoic like Bruce Lee is in a lot of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of the way like he dresses and the way the story treats him, just how he beats everybody up with ease. The only thing he doesn't do that Bruce Lee does in a lot of his movies is he doesn't beat up a room full of guys, which I appreciate. Because I'm kind of tired of the dudes beating up rooms full of guys because it doesn't really mean anything.
I'm tired of it's one guy. How hard can this be?
Right. It like after a while, I kind of just get sick of that because it's like, okay, I get it. He's tough. He can beat a bunch of dudes, but it just doesn't mean anything when he beats up a room full of like 1,000 guys and the scene goes on for 15 minutes and eventually I just kind of want to see a good fight instead of an easy one.
Gotcha.
Which he gets at the end of this movie because he essentially fights his Virgil, who because you find out that the main character was like a member of this death cult back in the day because he got kidnapped as a kid and made him a part of it, and him and his brother and this other guy grew up as like the top 3 warriors or top 3 fighters for this death cult, and then the main character accidentally kills his brother, or so he believes, and then the Virgil guy sticks around and stays with the cult while the hero escapes at some point, and he grows up, learns kung fu.
Okay.
The Virgil guy is cool. He's way cooler than the main hero because he's just, I don't know, he really feels like the real main character almost. Like he has more going on. You can see he actually is kind of like struggling with being a part of the death cult a little bit, and like his whole thing is like if you have to use a weapon, you will fail every time.
So it's kind of like most of the characters from Tower of God.
Kinda,
where the main character does not feel like the main character.
That in Tower of God, it's because the camera literally isn't on the main character half the time. But in this, he doesn't feel like the main character because he really just has no character.
Gotcha. Okay.
He has no like Tower of God's character has no character as well, but also the camera is never on him, so it's not really that big a deal. But this, it's like, all right, another scene where he's just kind of doing his martial arts stretches and his katas and shit, and I still kind of don't know what his deal is. He shows up in the beginning, and it's like, I don't know who this is.
I don't know why.
Because he's not even the first guy they show in the movie. They fucking show the rival first thing in the movie. So you think he's the main character for a good chunk of it because he gets way more backstory than the hero does at first.
Gotcha.
But all in all, good fights, super cool. There's a bunch of like white guys, or not a bunch of white guys, like a couple white guys and a black dude that show up. That surprised me because I just didn't expect them to be there. They were like French military, the white dudes, I think, and the black dude was
okay.
He's probably part of the military too. But
now here's the question: was the black dude taller than the rest of the white guys and like 3 times more muscular?
he was like their height.
Okay,
their size,
cool.
Basically,
Thank God.
All like the like Asian people were essentially like the same size, like height and size and like weight.
Okay,
weirdly.
that's good. Because I'm real tired of seeing the one black dude being like the tallest, biggest motherfucker out there. I'm like,
2 of the white dudes were so similar that I kept getting them confused.
I feel that.
Because one is like super French and the other one's just kind of French, and you only ever hear their names once, so you're like, okay, I don't really know who these are. And the only real character trait that differentiates them is that one has a locket with a picture of a sun in it. And that's the guy who fucking dies. So,
of course,
one guy comes in with a baguette, and the other guy just comes in with an apple.
Yeah.
And then you're asked which one's the French one.
Yeah.
Right. Here's a gun. Which one's the French one? Yeah. So they just kind of do nothing. Like, I don't know. I guess no, actually, I don't know why they were there. Because they just ended up being prisoners, and if their whole deal was just being prisoners, you could have had any characters be prisoners. And they didn't need to be this special crack assassin unit squad that just kind of shows up for no reason. I don't know why they were there at all. At all, actually. Because Hades' whole deal... Hades is the name of the death cult, by the way. Hades. This Chinese-Japanese death cult is called Hades. Don't really know why they had a bunch of grown men there, why they brought that military unit there, because they kidnap people as children to have them work for them. But they brought those guys there to work for them. So, I don't know. Maybe they explained it, and I just wasn't paying attention because I was laughing at just how weird fucking dudes with French accents trying to speak English on a Chinese script sound.
See, that sounds bad the way you say that, but I know you're right.
Bro, like, if you listen to, like, the way they talk, it's like, okay, this was clearly directed by a Chinese person because the cadence of their speech is weird. It was written by a Chinese person because literally the words they're saying are weird as fuck. And you could tell this dude's having trouble doing any of it because he's probably reading the script in Chinese, which he's then translating into French, which he's then translating into English. Oh, bro,
They just got the translator to do the scenes for them.
Super, super crazy, super weird. But you know what? All that does still amount to a pretty decent film. Good fights are good enough that the main character doesn't need a ton of personality. The plot is simple. Dude shows up and they're like, all right, you want to free the kids, you gotta beat these 3 guys. All right.
It's a Mega Man movie.
Essentially. Well, I mean, like I said, it's more like a Bruce Lee film where, like in Enter the Dragon, they literally invite him to an island where he then fights like 3 or 4 guys to fucking move up the tournament ladder or whatever. So it's like the structure is very similar. Like if this were made like back in the 80s, Bruce Lee would be the star of this movie, you know. Not like Jackie Chan or Sammo Hung, or it would be fucking Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, yeah. Okay.
That's all I did.
You know, okay.
Oh, also, I bought. This is just extra a little bit. I bought an Annie vinyl just so I can have Hard Knock Life.
Okay.
I don't like that.
What? You don't like that? Why?
I don't like that musical in general.
Oh, okay.
I just heard it a
I
lot.
like that song though.
I love Annie actually. I love that musical, but Hard Knock. I only really got the vinyl for Hard Knock Life, but I do love the Annie musical. I don't know why. It's completely like out of my wheelhouse of shit that I should be liking, but I just enjoy it.
So is literally anything.
Yeah.
I've never been a big music person. Not necessarily just musicals. Just music has never been my thing.
I hate musicals, but I can probably give you like 5 musicals that I fucking love because they just break the mold and don't
Deshaun,
suck.
you hate anime,
I do hate anime. That's because I've mostly.
but
that's
you
because
give
I've
me 15
seen
good animes.
I've seen more shitty anime than I have seen good anime, which is why I hate anime.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the time we could like qualify your statement with like a there are some good animes, but you just are like, no, I hate anime. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
It's just a different way. We think opposite of, or I should say, I think opposite of Deshaun. I'm Deshaun's exact opposite.
like it's really just a quantity thing. Like if there's so much of it I think sucks, I can't be like I think it's good. Like if I think of a majority of something sucks, like 9/10 of something sucks, then like I guess I think that thing sucks, except for this small little circle right here. But
Deshaun's statement is everything sucks, but Cameron's statement is everything's good, but
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I kind of get that. It really is funny.
Because for me, stuff starts at a 0, and for other people it starts at a 10. And I think that's kind of where it comes from. Where I'm like, you have to build up to a good score, where other people are like, stuff will take away from this high, like from the 10. And since you're not looking for those things, you probably won't be seeing them as often, and it won't decrease your score as much.
yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
I do think it's funny
But
that we've managed to get 3 people who are essentially like the 3 points of this kind of thing. Because Deshaun starts at 0, cause you basically start at 10 with everything.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
no,
start at
100%.
completely uninterested until it interests me.
So yeah, completely neutral. Like,
Yeah.
I am.
don't care.
I'm definitely one of those people that's like, if I'm spending my time on it, I'm going to love it, unless I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like having my time wasted, so.
I just try to figure out ways to like force myself to think that I didn't waste the time.
Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about something really quick?
Go for it.
Okay.
Sure.
So, Rogue One, right? The Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes.
So I came out of that movie. I liked the movie. It was depressing. I enjoyed it. But I came out of that, and the first question I asked was not like, oh, what was, like the director's name or blah, blah, blah. It was, why does this matter?
I've heard that question so many times for that movie.
Because, like, it's a
Literally.
good movie, but, like, I don't care,
So of course I fucking hate this movie.
Yeah, of course.
But I hate it kind of for that reason, because not only does it not matter, none of the fucking characters matter in the movie.
And we already knew the outcome.
Like, they didn't make me give a shit about the characters, so I don't care that they died.
It just reestablished that Darth Vader's a badass.
When they started dying, I was like, oh, cool, the movie's about to be over, because this is boring and sucks. And for me, the movie doesn't really begin until Darth Vader's lightsaber turns on in that dark hallway and starts killing dudes.
I see.
And
So
that's
you
like-
got 5 seconds of movie.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. If that scene was the entire movie, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. Give
Yeah.
me 20. Give me like 20 seconds to 20 or 30 seconds of Darth Vader just fucking slaughtering dudes. I'll go home happy.
I don't know. I guess that's where I land on most shit. Where it's
Yeah.
just like, it's executed well, but why do I care?
Yeah. I think that is the problem. Like, one of the biggest problems with Rogue One. Well, one of the problems with Rogue One, besides like the nostalgia baiting and a bunch of other shit, is like it what's the point? It just kind of doesn't, like, it tries to expand on the Star Wars universe, but it expands a point that nobody gives a shit about, really. That doesn't really need to be expanded. Like, the beginning of A New Hope, the whole thing is, hey, the rebels finally got the plans to the Death Star. It doesn't really matter who got them, how they got them, how long it took, whose dad made the plans. You know, who gives a fuck? We got the plans, and that's all that matters.
I think the funny thing is that there are just more plot holes that it raises to me than it answers, because like I think the way that they described it originally in Star Wars, like the flaw in the Death Star was like it's an exhaust port or something that's left open.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, cool, totally understand. Like, yeah,
Simple. A simple mistake that they can, exploit.
yeah.
And like, and usually, a lot of things have those kind of oversights.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you fucking look at a car. If you plug the exhaust port, you die. Like, it makes
Yeah.
sense to have an exhaust port that's open. Like,
Yeah.
cool, I understand. And then like the fucking
But that
throwaway
wasn't
line.
enough, apparently.
Well, it's like the fucking throwaway line of like a lot of people died to get us these plans. It's like, cool. Like, now I know that it shit's hard. Whatever. Like, I
Right.
get it. And then they make an entire movie around it, and like I'm just like, I don't get like
A movie where they explain that the fucking exhaust port thing was
intentional.
intentionally put in by a guy.
yeah, that's more unbelievable to me. Like
Hyper
than-
mega eye rolls from me when I fucking heard that shit.
Yeah, like that is more unbelievable to me than just like there's an open exhaust port, because like you
Right.
can chuck a fucking like cherry bomb into a car's exhaust and it will fuck the car.
It's a fucking giant moon-sized space station. Of course there's gonna be some mistakes,
Yeah.
But no, that's not enough, I guess.
I don't know. And like the acting wasn't bad, and the movie itself wasn't bad, and like the characters were cool, and like especially the robot was witty. But it was just like, I don't care. I just
Yeah,
like
who
they're
cares?
cool, and I'm glad that there's a movie, and like they all did a really good job. But like, in terms of Star Wars, I don't give a shit.
Like,
Give me a
Rogue One
2.5
should've
hour
been-
movie about
like,
Luke
if-
Skywalker's
if-
green lightsaber instead.
If this were like the back before they got rid of all like the Legends universe and all the book shit, this would just be a book.
Yeah,
Like, it's completely unnecessary to the movies. You don't need to make a movie about it,
it's cool, but like, yeah, make it a fucking book.
A book would have fleshed out the characters more, and I probably would have liked it. But
Speaking of which, fucking make a series about the clones. Make a series about Hard Contact. God damn it.
just the clones. No,
I want to see
I think the
Cal
problem
Skirata,
with- I think
goddammit.
the problem with that, too, is, the people who care... There's not enough people who care about the clones. Especially
Yeah.
since, they are all kind of wiped out by the time the original trilogy starts.
Yeah,
For the most
I know.
part.
I'm just so sad because this book series will never be finished. it straight up just got canceled 5 books into it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sucks.
Well, because it wasn't that because the Disney merger or whatever the fuck happened?
Yeah, but it's
They just canceled it.
stupid because it comes before like the original like AU or EU whatever, the extended universe like cut off, because that was only supposed to cut off stuff that happened after the original trilogy.
Yeah.
So it's like these books landed between like 2 and 3 and then 3 and 4. So it should have been greenlit to be okay, but like no. And now I'll just never get an ending to this fucking story that I've been I'm 5 books in, god damn it. I'm so
Star
mad.
Wars was basically ruined by the Disney purchase.
Yeah, like I don't
Like,
have-
can we even argue that anymore? Like, I know back when, like, Force Awakens had come out and, like, Last Jedi had come out, people were arguing about that, but can we just solidly say that the fucking Disney purchase fucking ruined Star Wars?
I think it ruined it as like a property to be expanded on.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think the movies themselves tainted Star Wars, but I think that because Disney's so like uptight with their IP, you don't get any of the cool shit. You don't get like fucking oh god, what was the other book I was reading? There's this like other fucking book that where like Luke goes evil and like there's somebody who was sent after him to like learn from him, and like it's just cool shit. It's really cool ideas,
Yeah.
Or like
There's,
the fucking Stormtrooper things that I was reading, the Clone Troopers books too. Like those are fucking cool.
Yeah. There's a Darth Vader book where he flies a ship. He flies like a fighter over somebody's cockpit and force chokes them from his ship in their ship. It's fucking sick. But you're not gonna see that in a fucking Disney movie because
That would be so fucking cool, though.
I mean,
he like flies upside down and like hovers over her and he just like looks at her and she looks up and he just holds his hand out and she starts choking. It's fucking great.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. And like,
Yeah.
I again, like I haven't seen episode 9, but I kind of know what happens. But like, I don't necessarily think like the movies themselves are the issue. It's just that we don't have the opportunity to expand on the movies or like the universe anymore.
Well, the movies kind of are the issue, some of it, because Disney didn't plan them out. So they were just kind of haphazardly putting out films with no, like,
Direction.
yeah, with no idea. It was just J.J. Abrams started a thing, and then Disney expects a bunch of other directors to try to finish it, instead of just having J.J. Abrams do the whole thing.
I do have a quick question. Has there been any mention of Jedi's using Force to pilot?
Yeah, that's the whole deal. That's what Luke does in A New Hope.
Okay.
Yeah, use the Force,
Use the
Luke.
Force, Luke.
God damn it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I just meant like
Actually,
high
like-
maneuver type shit, like
I mean, yeah, in the books you'll get like Jedi's like flying a ship, and then maybe the ship's about to crash, so they use the Force to like make sure the ship crashes somewhere safe for them, or they'll use the
Oh, yeah,
Force
okay.
to like to bend some other ship's fucking laser cannons, you know?
yeah, because like stopping a laser beam with Force powers, I'm just thinking like, man, that'd be fucking cool if you could just like insta turn your vehicle mid-air 90-degree shit.
What's his name does that in Force Awakens?
Stop the laser beam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. I'm saying because of I saw that, I'm like, oh, what other like mundane things could you do
Oh,
that are
okay, I
like
see.
hype in motion?
Yeah.
Well, it's like
think-
if you want to see some crazy Force shit, fucking play the Force Unleashed, where you bring down a fucking Star Destroyer
Or-
with the Force.
I'm gonna say this as a guy who literally just recently played Force Unleashed. Watch some cutscenes, and don't play Force Unleashed.
I've heard there's some issues with that game.
A couple.
Heard
You know what?
some-
The game
heard-
not fucking working sometimes.
I've heard there's some issues with that game.
Or the fact that it's extremely boring.
Yeah, it's so boring. It's so boring.
Like,
Ugh.
it's cool for the first, like, 20 minutes, because you're like, oh my god, they're actually letting me decapitate people.
Like, I'm so powerful, and I'm doing all this crazy shit, and then, like, you're like an hour, 2 hours into the game, you're like, oh god, these Force powers are so boring, and killing these enemies sucks.
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's the no, you know, real quick. This like, I'm glad Disney kiboshed doing all the side shit that they were doing, like all the the Obi-Wan movie and the fucking Yoda movie and all that bullshit we didn't fucking need. You know, I just let Star Wars die for a while. I know the Mandalorian is out or whatever. I know they're doing like some kind of live action Old Republic show.
Mandalorian's good, so
I'm sure, but I don't care. It's not like the episodes I saw of The Mandalorian. Everybody was like, "Oh, you'll love it. It's like a space western." And I watched it. And it feels like a western watched by people. It feels like a western by people who don't really like westerns or don't really get westerns. So it's like I was not enjoying it very much. But it's like everybody was like, oh, let's get a show about Boba Fett. Well, we can't do Boba Fett, so let's just do some random Mandalorian. And now I think Boba Fett's gonna show up anyway. I don't know, man. It just seems kind of they just made the show kind of just for fan service reasons, just so they can have a guy who kind of looks like Boba Fett walking around and be a cool guy, and have all the nerds go, "Ooh, that guy's so cool." I don't really give a fuck about that shit. I just want a good story.
I got you.
Also, all the Baby Yoda shit makes me want to throw up.
of course it does.
I don't understand how that became a thing. I still don't get it.
It's part of, what do you mean, how it became a thing? It's like a cute little Yoda.
I don't think it's cute, like in any regards.
Well, you
I
Are-
like that. That's
you aren't
just-
exactly the arbiter of taste, and millions of people have made plushies. And
Yes, I realize
all kinds
that.
of crazy
Every time I
shit
look at
about
him, like that's a little gremlin beast. Fuck that shit.
Nah, dude, his eyes are big enough.
yeah, it's
Kick the baby in the face.
his eyes take up like 80% of his fucking skull, so he's adorable. Them's the rules.
Don't think that's how TV works.
No,
To be
no,
fair,
it is.
I
It's al- it's
prefer Baby Yoda versus a real life human baby.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. Probably.
And so
But-
That's the only,
A real
that's
life
'cause-
human baby can't force poop itself at me.
I mean that's true, which is one more reason to prefer Baby Yoda.
You assume Baby Yoda poops at all.
I do assume Baby Yoda poops, but you know what? Could be wrong.
Yeah, he's an alien. Maybe he just turns it into force energy and he's fine.
He just makes whatever the force thing is.
100% efficiency with my waste.
I
mean,
just turned my waist
Regular Yoda
into...
didn't even leave a body, so yeah.
Haven't pooped in 200 years, I haven't.
Not enough fiber in Dagobah.
Toilets I do not have.
Yeah.
Alright, let me get on to my week, because...
Go for it.
Alright. Because the only thing I really wanted to talk about... I played a little bit of Halo, I played a little bit of... Fuck, what did I play? Oh, XCOM, the Chimera Squad, the police one.
Mm-hmm.
That game is getting better, but also I still don't like it as much as XCOM 2. No, it's like... It's... There's two things that I like, and they're diametrically opposed. Which is, I like that it has a more structured story, and that I'm doing something that has more like steps in between the final goal. But also, I don't like how I don't have customization over the characters. Like, I like that they have personalities and that everyone's like who they are, but I don't like that I can't insert more characters that are just like blank slates.
I was gonna say, so they're like characters, not characters you made.
Yeah. Like, you can customize them to an extent, but like, I want to have Iron Man fucking tossing grenades and shit. That's what my XCOM 2 file is literally like all the Avengers, myself, a couple of my friends from home, and like the Big Lebowski. You know, like fucking. I love that kind of shit. I love character customization in those games. So that's it. That's still rubbing me the wrong way, but it's getting better, and like the powers that you get are really fucking cool. So kind of can't really complain, even though I really want to.
I mean, you can't complain.
Trust me, I'm doing it. But like, yeah. So it's not bad. But what I did this week, which is way cooler, and has nothing to do with video games, is that for the first time ever, I personally replaced the pickups on my guitar, which
I saw the picture.
requires soldering, which I just got a soldering iron for my birthday, so I'm very excited.
Nice.
And so like, I was using that, and Kayla showed me how to use it before. Like, she did my old pickups, but I wanted to change them on a different guitar. So everything worked. It wasn't pretty looking, but it worked, and that was the important part.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just super exciting, because like now I can basically do, like, I still have to get some more like the specialized stuff, but like theoretically someone could come up to me and ask to do like a basic setup or like change their pickups or something, and I totally could.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
So how does it work? Like, how do you do this? What's a pickup first off?
So a pickup is a magnet wrapped in wire. And then, so the magnet, like, it tracks the vibration of the string and how it changes the pull in the magnet, and then the pull in the magnet is transferred to the wire, and then the wire is turned into an electrical signal that can be amplified.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
it's those metal things under strings and electric guitars.
And why does one change them?
They change the sound. So like, if on cheaper guitars, usually you'll have like really shitty pickups that are like either really tinny or really bassy, and that also don't have a lot of output. But like different pickups, different magnets inside, and different wiring, like outside, changes the
Okay.
sound that is pushed through it.
So it's almost like a different mic, like getting different mics for different reasons.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like getting a fight stick versus getting a pad, essentially. Like, they both do the same job, but like they feel different, and they like are used differently.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but anyway, so I changed pickups on, or Kayla changed pickups on the guitar that I use the most. But I was using Keon's guitar as like a mod platform. So I swapped out the old pickups that were in my original guitar to that one. And a couple issues that I had not anticipated was, one, I don't actually have any extra wire. So like any cuts that I made were final. And and I don't actually have wire strippers that go as small as I need them to.
Oh no.
So I had to use like the wire, like the cutter, and just like kind of go around very gently around the outside and pull it out. But no, it was cool. It ended up working. It's not pretty, but you know, it'll work. Made the guitar sound way fucking better. And yeah, so I'm actually planning on doing another, like, an actual mod project where I like basically just take a body and like completely replace everything. So
I actually, like, if you were to stream that, I'd watch the shit out of that.
I would too.
yeah, I'm down to stream it. It's just like I'm down to stream it, but so the soldering iron gets up to like 700 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, because it's got to melt metal, right? Like that's essentially what
Right.
it is.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
And I have a fire detector in my room, and it is very sensitive. Like, it went off because Kayla took too long showering once. Like, there was enough steam buildup. So, I'm down to
So
do
like
it.
it literally just picked up dirt in your house and then the steam.
No, it was just because like the steam density got too thick. I think.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It just built up too much heat around the sensor.
Yeah.
That's
fun.
silly. That's silly.
Yeah. So I'm down to do it, but like I also kind of don't want it on my desk. Like we'll see. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I've already like starting to plan out this guitar. And like the guitar body that I want is here. Let me see if I can find it for you guys because it's a super. I'm picking like a shitty one on purpose.
So you can mod it.
I was actually just reading a story about how a guy, like, built a fucking guitar, an electric guitar in prison.
Yeah, they're like surprisingly easy to make. Like,
Yeah.
That's impressive.
He like had like he worked at like the mail desk or whatever. Like
And just took small bits here and there.
Yeah. Well, he would have stuff like basically smuggled in, and then he would just put it together. And then I think he said like he played it for like 5 years in the prison, and when he got out, he like right before he got out, he had sent to like where he was going, and then he for like another 13 years he played it, and then he donated it to a museum.
so this
That's
is like
cool.
the disgusting guitar that I want to use.
I like the color.
Like, tell me that isn't the most like outrageous color you've ever seen. It's disgusting. I hate it, and I love it.
That turquoise looks nice.
There's
Yeah,
also like a
I don't
Pacific
know.
blue, which is a little bit more past or like
I'd
chill.
I'd be happier if it was a little darker, but that's just me.
Look at 2 clicks over on the Pacific blue. It's a little bit darker.
Cause yeah, okay, yeah, that's more my speed. I like Cyan. Cyan's my like favorite color.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between getting the turquoise or the sunset yellow, because I really just like
Whoa.
outrageous, stupid guitars like that are just in your face.
Also, excuse me for all the other people who say tomato. Cyan? Is that how other people say it?
Yeah,
It is
cyan.
cyan. I was actually quietly losing my fucking shit that you said cyan.
Excuse me to the tomato. Excuse me to the tomato speakers out there.
Holy shit.
Fucking cyan motherfuckers.
Because the word is cyan, motherfucker.
Cyan.
Cyan. Fuck you.
Fucking cyan motherfuckers out here.
God damn.
So anyway, I'm planning on getting this guitar because it's mildly unique in the fact that it has. See how like the magnets that are running across under the strings are like, it's one bar essentially
Yeah.
for each one. So those are single coil pickups. Basically means
Okay.
that there's one magnet and one coil wrapped around it multiple times. There are other types of pickups and like that you can get, and this is the part where like I started geeking out about guitar because there's just like so many different types of pickups. They're all so cool. But like there's humbucker pickups, which are actually 2 magnets. So it's essentially think of 2 of those, but like in the same housing, and they're reverse polarity, so that way you don't. Are they in parallel? Anyway, so there's 2 magnets, and essentially they cancel out the hum that you get from one of these like single coil pickups.
Okay.
And then like there's lipstick pickups, which are literally single coils, but they're in. Originally they were in like metal lipstick containers that you used to get in the 50s, and so they've continued to make them in like metal housings, and they change the sound, and it's just like there's so much of this shit that's just like so cool, and you can just fiddle with it for days.
Never really
Nice.
thought about how complex guitars are.
Yeah.
I was always just kind of like, you pluck the string and it makes the noise.
And then if you want the string to sound different, you'd make it tighter or looser.
Yeah. But with you talking about like the magnets and all that stuff, especially with like electric guitars, I can totally see where the complexity comes from.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and the worst part is that like there's a lot of, and this is gonna make me sound like such a douchebag, but there's a lot of the tone that you can get without changing like anything permanent on your guitar, essentially. Because like if you change the strings and how you play, like tone is, there's a lot of tone in like your right hand and your left hand, like regardless of the pickups and shit. So like you can make a guitar sound totally different just by playing differently, and it's just like so cool. But like also these pickups are shit. So so I'm playing on, I have our lipstick pickup already downstairs. And I'll send you guys a picture so that way you guys can see what it's looking at later. Actually, I'll just look one up. But like I'm also planning on getting a Hot Rails pickup, which is essentially a humbucker but the same size as that single coil. So instead of it being like a big fat, like how you think of like a lot of pickups, you know, it's very like, it's basically the same size as that single coil that's in the one that I showed you.
Okay.
Yeah, and it, oh my god, I listened to a demo yesterday and it's just like the fattest sounding shit ever, and I love it.
Giving me a lot of visuals to edit into the podcast.
I'm sorry, I get excited.
It's fine. Yeah. This is cool. I like this shit. And
yeah.
see, you know what? This is something people are interested in. No one wants to fucking hear me talk about comic books for 2 hours. No one wants to fucking hear Cameron talk about Battle for the Grid. People care, like, even us, we care more about this cool music shit than fucking some video game shit.
Half the time I'm just like, all right, please stop Deshaun from talking so much. I don't want to be the only person who stops him from talking every week.
You guys know me. I'll fucking go on.
Yeah, you will. But anyway, so I have like a plan already, but like I kind of gotta round up some money. But like, I just want to make this like the most annoying, like personalized instrument ever. You know, it's not gonna be super personalized, but like I want to be able to do this all by hand to like be like, yeah, this is my guitar. You know.
At what point is a guitar personalized enough that you can like give it a name?
As soon as you buy it.
As soon as you buy it? Okay.
Like, literally, if it's off the shelf, like, it's yours now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like...
I'm just saying, because it would be weird. It would be weird if you had a guitar and then you kind of did nothing with it, and you were naming it, but then you ran to somebody with, like, the exact same factory, default guitar. It's just, like, it's not really that special.
I mean, yeah, but... Yeah. So, well, it's one of those things where it's, like... It comes down to your preference as a player, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do, again, that's not permanently modifying the guitar, that will change how it plays. So, like, string gauge is super important, or not super important, but it's, like, it changes, like, what you play and, like, how you have to play it, how high your action is, which is how high your strings are off of the fretboard. So, like, some people like a really high action because they like to play full tilt and just, like, go nuts, most people... love a really low action because it means you don't have to put as much pressure on the strings, and so you don't have to try as hard, essentially. And like which pickup you use, and like even if you have like a cutting, like one of these guitars, right, that's like $140, each one will play differently. Like they all have their own unique feel, and it sounds so douchey to say it like that, but like there's imperfections in every guitar that make it what it sounds like, essentially. So yeah, even if you have the same model and the same year number, even if it's like the one red after the other, there's a chance that they won't sound the same, or like won't feel the same. They might sound the same, but they won't feel the same.
Okay.
That's fucking rad.
That was a very long-winded explanation of me saying I'm a fucking guitar nerd. Like,
nerd.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, exactly. Pretty much. Oh, okay. Let me bitch about this on the podcast because whoever did this needs to be shamed. All right. So my old guitar, right? It was this piece of shit Les Paul, or not my old guitar. It's my favorite guitar right now. It's a piece of shit Les Paul copy, right? Like it's just like fucking who cares? No name brand essentially. But it had upgraded pickups because like the pickups that came in it are shitty, and so like somebody upgraded the pickups. The pickups are actually pretty nice, but like when they did the solder job, one, they didn't use electrical tape to like house it off. Essentially, they used duct tape. inside the guitar. And 2, they did such a shitty soldering job that the solder came off. And
Wow.
so the actual thing connecting... Yeah, that's how bad at their fucking job they were.
That's
All right.
shitty.
You want to
that
talk
actually
about
reminds
people?
me.
Hold on. You want to talk about people being bad at their job?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Deshaun.
Uh-oh. Hey, man. I haven't worked in weeks.
Not you.
Oh.
What's your favorite drink?
Mine?
Yes.
Arizona cherry limeade soda.
All right. Arizona cherry limeade soda. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So
The Ricky.
I'm currently at a soda machine. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Soda machine is out of juice, so I have to put in the new juice to make your soda. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the back. I get your juice. I pour it in the machine. I mix it. I pour your soda. Right. I hand it out to you. How long do you think that takes?
I don't know. Should take about 5 seconds, really.
I
Not
mean,
too long.
let's be honest. They're human beings. They're human beings.
Generously, I'll give them like 40 seconds.
All right, they got to go to the back. So you know what? Let's be a little more generous. 2 minutes, right?
2 minutes. If they have to
2
go all the way to the
minutes.
fucking back, I guess.
Yeah, they got to go all the way to the back. They got to get the thing. They got to move a box. Bring
I
it
guess,
out.
yeah.
Pour, mix. All right, Derek, what's your favorite drink?
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. Same thing, right?
Yeah.
My favorite drink for coffee is a little more complicated, right?
No wonder.
Just a little more complicated. It's 2 French vanilla, 2 caramel, 3 cream, 1 sugar. Right? There is a line of 20 people in front of me. They're not serving any hot food because their ovens are broken, right? So how long should it take for me to get my drink if there's 15 people in front of me, they're not serving hot food?
Is this a Starbucks?
It's not Starbucks.
Okay, because I was about to say, I could give you the number.
But at Starbucks, at Starbucks, how long does it take?
Like, on average, it's about 40 seconds per drink.
Okay, 40 seconds per drink.
Yeah.
Someone gets like 2 or 3 drinks, so it might take like 3 minutes per customer at max.
Yeah, it depends on what they order, but yes.
Yeah.
If you're ordering a drink like yours, and it's just like an iced coffee, right? You're not getting like an
Yeah.
Americano or something?
No, just iced coffee.
Okay, since we already have that brewed, because we're a
Yeah,
mega
because it's
corporation.
already already in front of you.
This
It's
is also
pre-brewed.
This is also assuming everybody's just getting one drink.
Yeah, no. I'm saying like if someone gets 2 or 3 drinks, I'm gonna it should take a little bit longer, but like 5 minutes at tops per customer, right? For
Yeah.
just drinks, no food, just drinks. If food,
All right, just
food-
just thinking about somebody taking 5 minutes to bring me my shit when it should take 40 seconds that would actually piss me off.
Okay. Now there's 15 people in front of you, right? So you're like, okay, it's maybe 20, 30 minutes to get everybody kind of moving along, right?
Yeah, I would probably pin it about 15, 20.
Yeah, because it's just drinks. There's no food.
For like a decent line, yeah.
Try an hour and a half to 2 hours.
What
I
the
would
fuck?
Just leave. I would just leave.
I couldn't. The drive-through is literally 1 lane.
Man, I would just walk out of my car.
My car overheated twice
It overheated twice in line.
in line.
Dude, you should take that coffee, pour it in the fucking engine. What the fuck?
I turned my car off. I had to turn my car off because I'm like, oh shit, my car's gonna overheat if I just stay in this fucking line.
I
don't-
probably would have like demanded my money back or something.
I don't fucking know how. I don't know how it takes an hour and a half. I don't know how it takes more than 30 minutes to do one customer. One customer. It took them 15 minutes. There's 15 people in front of me.
Like, I do technically have an answer for that, but it makes zero sense if you're in a drive-thru.
All of it was drive-through.
The
Yeah,
whole
like,
point of a drive-through is that it doesn't take that long, no matter what.
Yeah, and this happens every day now. So
Well-
I just don't go there anymore.
yeah, understandable. Well, it's like we have one customer at our store who orders a
In bulk?
decaf. No, it doesn't, it's not. It's one drink, but because we don't brew decaf at our store, we have to do a pour over, and pour overs take like 5 to 10 minutes to do because you have to wait for the coffee to go through the grounds. But like, we only make an exception for him, and I don't know why. I have no fucking clue why.
It's probably because he's a customer who's been there forever.
Yeah, but like we never should have made an exception for him. That's the thing. Anyway, so like, but like at that point, we always just tell him like, hey, park up front because this is gonna take a while.
Yeah,
and he knows
which-
that. So it's like, what the fuck? I don't
That's
understand.
what
I'm
they
so
should be
confused.
doing.
I'm so confused.
Like, I don't, because I know how to make my drink in their own store. I could get it out of the car, go into their area, make my drink, and get out before anybody else even noticed. I don't get it, because all mine is, all right, grab my cup, go to the first pump, pump, pump. Go to the second pump, pump, pump. Go to the cream machine, 1, 2, 3. Get a thing of sugar, open the packet, dump it in. Go to the iced coffee part, get ice, get coffee, done, hand it out.
Yeah, that's rough.
I was in. So I'm going there after work today to get my money back because the app doesn't let you look at your order history on the app. There also is no phone number to cancel your order. There's also no way to get a refund through the app.
Wow, so what the fuck's the point of the app?
The point of the app is just to get your points. That's it.
Just to get your money. That's what. Yeah.
It's to get your points and to get your order placed online. That's it. So you have to go on the website.
How about I just make my fucking order in person so you can see how pissed off I am already?
That's what I did the other day. And you know what? The employees they got working there, they must have been just like, we need fucking bodies in the store because they all suck. They're fucking ass. Their customer service is garbage. Their fucking efficiency is garbage. Their ability to remember what your order was is garbage. Their ability to speak English is garbage. No, it's not that they speak a different language. They just are terrible at speaking English.
A couple of weeks from now, Cameron's gonna be yelling, build that wall. I can already see it.
Not even close.
I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, it's frustrating when. So is it just because are they like kids or are they like teenagers or are
they're
they
older than me?
Just people who don't know how to fucking work. Yeah,
They just don't know how to work, and they're. I hate to say it, but man, they're ghetto as hell.
Well, I mean, it is Fort Walton, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep. They just needed bodies in the store, so they hired whoever. I'm pretty sure.
whoever the fuck, yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those things that, like, it's hard to describe to anyone who's never been in this situation why a lack of communication is so difficult. It's not that, like, someone is speaking, like, we get Spanish a lot, right? It's not that someone's speaking Spanish that's the issue. It's that they and I cannot communicate easily, and that's what's causing the issue.
Yeah.
So for this, it's literally just they don't want to talk to the customers. They just don't.
That's retarded.
I go to the window and they're like, you can place your order here. I'm looking at them. I'm like, hey, I want this, and they're like, they just blank stare at me. Don't say anything.
And do they go and get like a manager or something?
No. They speak English. Like they only
really
they only speak
really
English.
don't wanna talk.
They just don't want to talk to you. So I'm like, did you get that? They're like, uh-huh. I'm like, all right. I also want this. They're just staring at me.
So this
Confirm that you got my shit, dickhead. I would start screaming at them. I would
So
start getting
this
fucking
is-
pissed off.
This is like a person. Like, you're seeing this person, right? You're at a window,
This-
not at like a talk box.
Yeah, I'm at a window looking at them in their face.
Okay, that makes this way better because like I've been on the other side of the situation, but we have like a speaker box, right?
Yeah. You know, I get like if they mess up over that, I get that. Like that, I can just be like, oh yeah, the mic is busted or something like that.
Or what I was thinking was because a lot of times we don't have enough people to do someone at the window handing out shit and also someone on the box, so you'll be doing
Yeah.
both at the same time. So a lot of
Both at
times
the same time.
you turn off your mic to deal with the person at
Yeah.
the window, and then whoever's at the box is like, "Did you get that?" I'm like, "Yeah, bitch," but I got this other person here. Like,
No, I get that.
but if
I'm
they're at
talking
a
when I'm
window,
looking-
like, fuck, man.
I'm looking at them directly in the eyes.
I've
and
gone
they're
to like McDonald's and like Wendy's around here, and that shit happens where I'll like walk up to the fucking front counter and I'll order my shit, and they won't confirm anything I'm saying. They won't acknowledge that I'm really ordering it all. They'll say, "Hey, what can I get for you?" And then that's the last time they say anything until they tell me how much it costs.
Yeah, I'm like,
You know?
because after every time someone tells me something, I either repeat it back to them or go, yeah, okay, anything else? And like I can deal with someone having attitude with the anything else. I can get that. That does not faze me at all. It's the fact that they go, and then you say something else, and they're like, mm-hmm, and then they just keep looking at you. Don't even say mm-hmm. They just look at you, just like.
You know the problem with like the phrase anything else? It's that it's become such a passive aggressive thing that when people say it, even when they don't mean to be passive aggressive about it, it still comes off passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Because they just can't help it. Because just nobody really says anything else like that, like where they're genuinely asking you for anything else outside of work.
I always try to add a chuckle at the end of it, like,
Yeah.
oh, anything else?
I just say
Or-
anything else I can do for you, and that's it.
Yeah, or like, you want something else, or do you want anything? Yeah, it's
just the two words is passive
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, anything else that you add on to that is better. Like,
yeah.
Exactly.
Is that all I can do for you? Is a good one that you can always go back to.
or like I always ask like anything else I can get you,
Yeah,
Right.
because
Yeah,
that
like,
that doesn't sound like I actually give a shit, but at least it doesn't sound passive aggressive.
yeah,
yeah,
Like-
well, that's why I say it, because I don't give a shit, but I'm not trying to be passive aggressive
Yeah.
either. You know, I'm
So,
just trying
but
to.
yeah.
I'm
An hour
legit
and a
trying to
half.
see if you want anything else.
An hour and a half to 2 hours is unacceptable for a drive-through.
Ridiculously unacceptable.
Even in lunch rush, it's like 30
Especially
minutes.
lunch rush. What? Like,
No, it wasn't a lunch rush. It wasn't even rush. It was just they weren't serving people.
yeah, like no, that's the point. Like, I don't know how it is at other stores, and I assume it's different because our main products are quick. But like, if we have a car that's been waiting over 10 minutes, like we start getting hustled by management. Essentially, like they're like, "Hey, we
Don't-
got to get moving," you know.
Don't worry. At pizza places where we have to cook the pizzas fresh, we get the pizzas out faster than they were getting drinks out.
Yeah, like I don't understand it.
Usually pizzas are ready before anything else. We won't even fuck with anything else until we actually get the pizza done, and then we'll be like, all right, what goes with this order? All right, grab this, and this.
Yeah.
Like it's.
So because
Oh.
even then, if it takes a second for us to get their drink or something, at least they have their fucking pizza in their hands, so they're placated somehow. you
Yeah,
know?
that made me so upset this week.
Oh, I found out what the haters are gonna latch on to. The opening to this segment.
Anyways, sorry. What were we talking about? Do you want to get on to news?
All right. I just want to talk about one last thing I did in my week, real quick. Cameron, have you ever seen a movie called The Full Monty?
Full Monty. Probably not, but
Why do I feel like I've heard someone reference this before?
I asked
No, I
Cameron
have
specifically
not.
because it kind of seems like the kind of movie he'd be into.
it does not look like the kind of movie I would be into at all.
It super is, actually.
Are you sure?
It's a nice, good, fun movie.
Is this
It's
the movie
funny.
about the Monties in Canada?
No. The Mounties. No,
The
those
Mounties.
are Mounties.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
All right, so the Full Monty is about these guys around this town. They used to work at a steel mill. They used to be like the town's like big pride, but like over time, it basically just kind of shut down. Just nobody's got jobs. So the main character, his ex-wife, is trying to take custody of his kid away from him, basically, and she's like, if you don't pay child support, then I'm gonna take the kid from you. You're not gonna be allowed to see him anymore. So he comes up with this idea. He has this idea to, because he ends up seeing a bunch of women at like a strip club, like a Chippendale style strip club.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's what we're gonna do, because they were like throwing shit tons of money at these guys. So he's like, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get all the schlubby, dad bod dudes from around town, and we're gonna do a strip dance or whatever.
Okay.
And the Full Monty is essentially them
Going
taking
buck
everything off
naked.
and burying it
Yeah.
all.
I see.
I fucking love this movie.
Well, I'm
it's-
glad for you.
It's funny. It's well written. It's smart. It has like incredible thing. It even has like two dudes end up realizing they like each other. In
Hell
this shit.
yeah.
This movie came out in like
97.
2000. Oh yeah, 97. Yeah.
I just looked it up.
Yeah, you just looked it up. It's just amazing, and it's got a great ending. Fucking fantastic soundtrack.
Nice.
I absolutely. If you're just kind of bored and you can find this movie somehow, watch it. It is a good time. It will make you feel good.
Okie
Yeah.
dokie.
I can't wait to see some dudes' dicks. Let's go.
I will not spoil the ending.
Lovely.
But it's all great. Like every character has like a nice little story. You know, none of it like there are at least like 4 or 5 different kind of like character arcs going on, like character stories going on. But none of it doesn't feel like bloated or chaotic or anything. It really just feels, you know, well crafted, and it's nice. It was just a nice feeling movie.
Okay.
And you know, it's not like a masterpiece or anything, but it's still like there are little moments that you're like, that's amazing. You know, that's like the funniest thing I've seen ever. So, anyway,
Here, Deshaun, show you what a good fight scene is real quick.
is it gonna be from God of High School?
No, it's not. Let me show you what a good fight scene is.
I don't think you know what a good fight scene is.
Oh, I know what a good fight scene is.
I don't know. Oh, this fight from this opening.
The opening.
From this Dead Game series.
It's not dead. Yo, it's revived.
No, it's
With
pretty
all the
dead.
What the fuck? Have you seen all the new shit that came out for this game?
Who gives a shit?
Everybody.
No.
Every single person who's played Marvel is back in playing Marvel.
Basically, no one is playing Marvel.
The fuck you talking about?
Basically, no one gives a shit about Marvel.
All the big Marvel heads are playing Marvel again, which is bringing back all the other Marvel players.
Yeah, but it's just like a people going on vacation kind of thing. It's like when a bunch of people start playing Bloodborne again, because one guy started playing it again. It's gonna go away in like a couple months.
Well, that's all fighting games go away in a couple months usually,
Super not true.
and then they come back and then they go away again. And
No.
they come back and they go away again.
Super mega not true.
Nevertheless, still a great fucking fight scene. You can't deny that,
Yeah, I can.
motherfucker.
First of all, Dante would wax Deadpool in about 1 second.
Dante
It
would not wax that.
wouldn't even be a challenge.
He wouldn't. And no, you get this all wrong. Dante's all about style. He wouldn't give a fuck about just killing him right away. He could play with him like he is right here.
He would chop Deadpool up into a million fucking pieces.
Okay, so sorry for the break, but what?
You are so
Oh,
wrong.
I'm just dunking on Cameron because he thinks this cutscene from this Dead Game.
You're
is,
just a piece of shit, is all, Sean. You just fucking think anything that like I think is cool. You're like, I gotta shit on this now. Yeah, I'll send it to you, Derek.
Full disclosure, I do think it's a cool fight scene, but I just want to fucking piss Cameron off.
I know you did. Exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, it's actually super hype.
I'm just like, no. First off, we both know Dante would not just kill someone.
He would he would play, especially since Deadpool can like heal.
Yeah.
He would do shit to Deadpool that he couldn't really do to anybody else because he's the only one that wouldn't just die instantly. But
Yeah. Like the whole fact that he just shoots his gun out of the, or he shoots his sword off his gun.
yeah, he like just kind of kicks it to like, destroy all the shit on the fucking
Yeah.
for no reason. Super weird, but yeah. Where the fuck? Oh, there it is. All right, looking at the pool docket. What you guys want to talk about first?
Did you just stick a sword up Deadpool's butt?
No. He got that was Morgan fighting with her
Okay.
like.
Okay, got it. I just saw
Morgan
something
is
go-
another character that's like super god like. She's like so powerful that she really shouldn't be in a crossover game because she would just dominate everybody.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Let's start with Microsoft buying Bethesda.
Which
Well, they technically bought ZeniMax, which
Yeah.
means they bought Bethesda.
don't they already own Obsidian as well?
Yes.
So
There's a funny meme of Always Sunny in Philadelphia meme where it shows the two characters looking at each other from across the room and one says Obsidian and one says Bethesda. It's funny. It's like a big party and like they look at each other from like far across the room and like what the fuck? Super good.
What are you doing here?
So good
yeah, it's
news
super cool.
is that Fallout New Vegas could potentially get a
Maybe.
sequel.
I mean, it's still
Maybe.
going to be made by Bethesda. I think they still said Bethesda's going to be publishing and making those games, so it's not going to be like Obsidian gets a chance to make the new New Vegas game.
I
That'd
mean,
be cool, but
they could.
I mean, maybe if Microsoft like takes it from Bethesda.
What's
Yeah.
good? The good news is new what's it called? Engine.
I was gonna say their engines can stop sucking ass.
Well, let's
their
not get
engines
ahead of ourselves.
It's Microsoft. They have a fuck ton of money, and the reason Bethesda can't fucking get a new
Fix their
engine because they have stockholders who are like, "No, we're not gonna give you money for a new engine. Fuck you." You know, so Microsoft having, a fuck ton of money can just give them money to work on a new engine instead of not.
Although
So we can stop using this fucking 45-year-old engine.
I will say $7.5 billion is quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
assume-
mean, because it's not just for Bethesda. It was for ZeniMax.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
else
so-
does ZeniMax have? I'm gonna look that up real quick.
I'm not sure.
Elder Scrolls,
so-
but that's Bethesda.
So Microsoft is they buy all this stuff. They got the rights to all these games now, but apparently there's. I saw this joke going around a little bit that Microsoft is releasing PlayStation 5 exclusive games. I didn't get it at first, but then I realized like Deathloop and I want to say Ghostwire Tokyo are PlayStation exclusives at first. Are going to be PlayStation exclusives for a little while. And they're gonna honor those contracts. So Microsoft is gonna release PlayStation 5. They're literally going to release PlayStation 5 exclusive games.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So it'll be funny. It'll be funny to see a fucking Microsoft Studios logo on my PlayStation.
So
I may have to buy those games just to put them on my shelf. That might actually be worth it.
ZeniMax has Bethesda, id Software, Arcane
Yep.
Studios, Machine Games, which is like the New Order, Wolfenstein stuff.
Yeah.
Tango Games, which The Executioner, Evil Within, those games.
Yeah. Ghostwire
Alpha
Tokyo.
Dog Games, which I have no clue what they make. It makes Android games and iOS, and then Roundhouse Studios, which is part of Bethesda's studios. So
Yeah. So it's a lot of money, but it's also
a lot of
IPs.
IPs.
I didn't realize that Microsoft didn't already own id. I thought they did.
Well, I mean,
Interesting.
I thought the same thing about Bethesda years ago. I thought Microsoft already owned Bethesda.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I think there was talks about them being bought out, but it never actually happened.
Yeah.
And now they
There
did.
was also a rumor that Microsoft was trying to buy Bungie right before this, but I think the marketing manager was like, "Nah, this is not true."
And then
I
there was
kind of wish they did.
Yeah.
Like, out of all the evil corporations to own Bungie, like I would prefer either Microsoft or Nintendo. Ironically enough,
Yeah. Nintendo.
yeah, because at least then the game wouldn't be. I was
They-
like,
you know
specifically
what?
Destiny 2. Like,
I
the
bet
game wouldn't
Bungie
be
would make a
boring.
dope ass Star Fox game.
Yo, you know what? That'd actually be pretty cool.
Like Nintendo never will, but
Right, never, yeah.
like I would rather have interesting ideas on games that like especially like a fucking MMO like Destiny 2 than point and click adventure for 200 plus hours. Like the issue with Destiny 2, hold on, like another side rant. The issue with Destiny 2 is not that the mechanics themselves are bad. It's just that I don't care. Right?
Yeah.
Like I can put 200 hours into Halo Reach's multiplayer because it's fun, but like I also care about the game because there's just a decent single player, and also fuck that guy on the other team. But like Destiny 2's like lore is just whatever, and they're bad
I've heard
guys.
that a lot from people that the lore is not very good.
Yeah, it's like it's expansive, but it's not interesting. And they also like no matter which Destiny game you play, 1 or 2, like they haven't really changed the bad guys, which I was overlooking at first, but like even by the end of Destiny 2 solo, like the only real interesting bad guy is the final boss. And like the boss battles are interesting, even if it's like pretty much wait for them to expose their weak point and then shoot it. But like I'm an MMO player, I'm used to that shit. So like, but like the cannon fodder needs something else because it's just the same like 3 types of bad guys over and over and over.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I wish either Bungie Activision or fucking what is it, Blizzard Activision would like let them do their own thing and like create more shit, or sell them off because like it's just not. It's not a
not
fun
working out.
game. Yeah. Like, at least Anthem has melee combat. Fuck, man.
Anthem, what's that?
I don't know.
It's a game that keeps going on sale for 5 cents.
Ah.
I should buy it now because they're apparently overhauling the game. So just in case we might get a new No Man's Sky where the game actually ends up being changed into something worth a shit.
Yeah.
You know, get it now while it's cheap instead of later when it's like $40. Or don't. Just ignore this game's existence and don't reward failure. Either way. But yeah, something weird about this is that a lot of like the people in charge of the places that Microsoft bought were like, don't worry, these games won't be exclusive to the Xbox Series, consoles. And I'm like, fucking why? Why not?
Because they're pushing that Game Pass
I was about
real
to say,
hard.
Bro, Game Pass looks better and better every
Have you
fucking day.
seen their Twitter accounts with Game Pass?
No, I have not.
So people are like messaging Xbox going like, look, sorry guys, I've been Xbox since Xbox original came out, but all my friends just refuse to buy Xbox, so I gotta switch to the PS5. And Xbox, the Twitter account goes, look, man, no worries. You always got to pick the best console for you. All that we ask is like you go and get that Game Pass. It's good for your PC, your Android, and if you get Xbox down the future, you can have all your games there. And they've been doing that to everybody who sends in. They're like, look, guys, we don't give a fuck if you buy our console. Just get this goddamn game.
Get the Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like it's super cheap too. So they got to be operating at a loss because it used to be like $1 and now it's like 10.
I think
which
yeah,
still
it's
isn't that
$10.
much.
But you get so much value for it. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
even blame them
crazy.
for pushing that so hard. If they're making money off of it, or at least can sustain off of it,
Because that's a market
future-proof.
that Sony and PlayStation aren't even attempting to touch. The PC market, they're not even
Yeah.
like they've only just started releasing Sony games on like Steam. So it's like
but
Microsoft can dominate, not dominate, but they can like join in on the space that only has like one or two other companies really fucking around with this seriously.
But you're missing one whole platform. They're also attacking the phone market.
Yeah.
That Game Pass works on Android and iOS.
I think the more important thing is that Microsoft owns Windows.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's the bigger thing for me is that because we have Origin, or it's gonna be fucking what EA TV or something now, who cares?
Yeah.
But
that's coming out.
we have Origin, we have Uplay and shit, but everybody knows Steam, right?
Yeah.
But because Windows and most people are either people who play games, most of them aren't gonna be going out for Ubuntu and stuff like that, and building their own Linux based system. So it's either that or Mac, and anyone who plays games isn't gonna be playing on Mac. So you're basically defaulting to
Hey,
Windows.
take that, Mac players.
I mean, it's true, right?
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
Although the blasphemous Mac and Linux versions did just release a couple days ago.
oh, nice. But I'm not saying they can't, but most people don't.
Right. Yeah.
But so there's already a default for Windows, and the fact that because of that they have an in to every single computer that is purchased essentially for the purpose of gaming. And the Game Pass can already be built in. It's just
Yeah.
they've made it so easy for themselves to do this. It's just insane to me.
It almost really feels like Microsoft does not take the console game very seriously. They don't really give a rat's ass.
It's almost
the
at
end
this
of
point
the
that
day.
they don't have to.
They really don't. It's like they're only doing this because a long time ago someone was like, "Well, let's get in on the game,"
Which was
And-
smart.
Yeah, which is smart, and because it's just an extra revenue stream, and they just kept doing it because why not?
It was working.
Yeah. I would. It's one of those things where because they have the platform for and I'm not gonna say entry level, but for consoles and also for the customization of PCs, they just don't have to care as much.
Yeah.
If they didn't have such a fucking stranglehold on OSs, I think they would be pushing the Xbox Series X a bit more.
Way
But
harder.
because they are essentially their own competition, they don't care.
That's probably why the name situation is so goofy, because they don't give a shit. They're just like, call it whatever, they'll buy it. It's just a fucking box.
Moving on. Speaking of which, dumbass motherfuckers who can't read.
So Xbox One X sales skyrocket like 767% or some shit like that, over 700%, because when they when they put up the pre-orders for the Xbox Series of consoles, people were a little too hasty and were clicking that buy button on the wrong thing.
Okay, so let me clarify this a little bit more, because I found out it wasn't actual numbers, but it was the ranking on Amazon, I think.
That's what it was. Yeah, it's like the highest bought thing like ever in like the last like few months or whatever, because people were buying the wrong thing.
Yeah, it went up over like 700%. The ranking itself.
Ridiculousness.
But people are fucking dumb.
People are dumb as fuck. I get it. The names aren't great, but look at what you're fucking buying, people.
I mean, also
you're spending upwards of $200 on something. Look at what the fuck it is.
There's also like the easiest point of like couple clicks here and there to make sure you're buying the right thing.
Like, they don't even look similar. So how the fuck are you buying the wrong thing?
I mean, also you can just assume that like, hey, you know, that thing they said that's not going to be out for another month or so,
you won't be able to just buy it.
Why can't I just buy it now? Like, it's not even like you're pre-ordering it. That's
like
different.
This shit says will arrive at your house in 2 days. That can't be right.
That can't be right.
People are dumb as fuck.
Speaking as someone whose mom is like console illiterate, like I feel for the parents essentially that don't know what the fuck they're doing, because like
that's true.
Those people I feel I have pity for, but not the people who are just trying to grab a console.
Yeah, well, it's like I had to, like, when I was writing birthday lists and stuff, I had to specify which console it was for. So that way my mom, because she did this at one point where she got the right game but for the wrong console. And so I had to spend like 10 minutes explaining to her why this wasn't gonna work. She and I just weren't gonna work out.
Was this before like GameStop or whatever, where you could just go in and like, hey, I got the wrong game, can you just replace it?
No. This she bought it at GameStop, but it was one of those things where she was just confused as to why it wasn't gonna work. And she was like, why don't you try it? And I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna brick my console.
Yeah.
To make you feel better.
Why don't you try it? Nah, how about I don't do that?
Yeah, I'm like, look, do you want to take the fucking 5 cents of gas that it takes to drive back, because we literally live like a mile away, or do you want to, it's like, fucking spend $300 on a new system?
Right.
So, like, I get it, but also, like,
But
also, if you're into this shit and it's not your parents buying you this to be nice or whatever, like, fucking do your research.
just a little bit. Like, it doesn't even take that much.
And if you're into this shit and it's not your parents buying this to be nice, build a fucking PC. Like, let's be honest here.
I do think that is part of why I just never bothered asking like my parents or my grandparents ever for like video game shit, because like they're not gonna get it. I just need to get that shit myself.
The only time I've ever had like any problems is not because I had a problem, it's because I was worried. Because you know how sometimes you have a tradition of opening a Christmas present before Christmas, like the day of?
No.
Okay, well, we have a tradition where we open up Christmas presents, one present before Christmas, right?
Wow.
And,
la-di fucking da.
Haha, yeah.
Living in your fucking mansion.
Yeah. Nevertheless, like...
Anyway.
So I opened up a present, and all I had was a PS2, and my brother had an Xbox. And the game I opened up was a game that's on both consoles. It was a PS3 game. And I'm like, this is also on PS2 because it was one of those crossover games. And I've been asking for it. I'm like, oh, this is a PS3. Uh-oh. Yeah, the next day it's fine because I got a PS3 as well for Christmas. But I thought for a second that I was going to have the conversation with my parents.
But that's like... When parents do that kind of thing, it's like, yeah, they're just hinting that you're getting something else too.
Yeah, I was worried that I was gonna have the conversation where like I can't use this game because it's on the wrong system, and I know you don't want to spend $200. Obviously, they wanted to spend $200.
That would have been super awkward. if you had that conversation and then you got the PS3 the next day, you would look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I think
I just didn't say
that's
anything.
why my parents always suggest that I open because we did do the one present thing, but it was very rarely I got to pick the present.
They're like, pick the grandma's present.
Well, the other thing too is my parents they did the whole like Santa thing, so like shit would pop up after or like Christmas morning rather than like be under the tree on the 24th. So
Same.
I usually opened a book, which is cool. One time I opened Brief History of Space and Time by Stephen Hawking, and it was delightful.
Nice. I need to go read more.
You will not.
I won't, but I've tried on multiple occasions. I got 5 chapters into Dragonlance, and I was thoroughly enjoying it.
You need a subscription to Audible.
I do. I do, because I love.
You will get the books, and you won't have to read them.
I love books. I love the stories they tell. I am terrible at stopping what I'm doing to sit down and do nothing but read. That's my issue, is that I hate doing nothing while I'm listening to something or doing something.
Yeah, I get that. I'm like that's my beef with movies.
That's my beef with movies as well.
Where I'm just sitting on my ass watching a story happen in front of me, and I can't do anything about it. And dumb shit's like, if a character makes a dumb decision that I know is gonna go wrong, I can't do anything about it.
And like,
I
you
just
don't
have
want to look
watch it
away
play
either,
out.
because then you're gonna miss shit. And like, missing shit is stupid, because you're like, is this movie bad, or did I look away at the wrong time?
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on.
Fuck movies.
Yes.
Fuck this entire medium.
But you know what is exciting about an entire medium?
Nothing.
Having PS4 games run on PS5.
99% of PS4 games.
99%.
Remember when they were talking about backwards compatibility for the PS3, PS2, and PS1 games as well?
Yeah.
Lol.
Remember when they said, no, we're not doing that?
We're not doing that shit. Well, I mean, they confirmed that recently, but they kind of just stopped talking about it for a while, and then they
fucking
confirmed it.
just make the better hardware PS3 that runs all 3 of them, please.
I guarantee you the PS5 will have a PS1, PS2, and PS3 emulators on it.
It's gonna be on there. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, we won't be able to use it.
No. It'll work, but it only works for the people who have dev kits.
It'll only work what they're really for is for when you're playing you're playing a port of a game. So your PS, like the PS4 has it to where, say you're playing San Andreas, the port that they put on the PS4, it will activate the PS2 emulator inside the machine. And then
So what do you want to bet? The modders are gonna figure out a way to like burn a specific disc that allows you to activate that shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
I'm sure.
I mean, they'll be able to do it. Like, the reason people found it in the PS4 is because they fucking opened it up and were like, oh, here it is.
Yeah.
You know?
All you gotta do is make sure your PS4 never goes, or PS5 never goes online. You gotta keep that shit offline at all times.
All times, yeah. So they don't update it the fuck out of there.
And like, even if they updated the hell out of there, the thing is that as soon as you turn it online, they go, this person has broke the PS4 or PS5. Yeah. Break his console.
All right, yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, they say this PS4 goes around PS5, but I mean, I guarantee you, it's a lot of it's just gonna be like, you gotta buy this, not really buy it, but you gotta like re-download the game off the store or whatever, so you have the license for like some version of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be it's. I don't know. I get the feeling that. Because this is kind of what they said before with the fucking PS3, with the first version of the PS3, you know, it was backwards compatible, and they decided to take that out. Because whatever.
Yeah, PS1 games still worked on the PS3 even with the newer versions.
So, it's like,
just not PS2 games.
Who's to say they won't just fucking take this out at some point and just make you fucking buy the games when they start porting shit.
Yep.
To PS5.
I think. Well, that was something like back in the day, because like they required a different like hard drive or something, right, for the PS2.
Yeah.
But like, I'm sure they can get around that now.
Oh, absolutely.
So like, okay, whatever. I don't want to spend too much time on
But
this.
the reason, you know, we know that they can do it, but being greedy companies, will they? Yeah.
I don't want to spend too much time on
Will
this.
they just go for the option to just fucking, you know, go for the quick check, real quick, instead of just giving you the ability to play the games you fucking already own. I just want to take my fucking PlayStation 2 disc of goddamn Kingdom Hearts and put it in my PlayStation 5 and have it play like a fucking video game.
That's what
That's
I want.
so much to ask.
Yeah, apparently.
Why do these companies treat me like an asshole for wanting to play an old game on a new system? Their system. I support, like, I'm supporting them by buying their systems every generation, and and they're just saying, nah, we ain't gonna do it. I mean, just Sony, really. Microsoft fucking was like, yeah, of course. They wised up and were like, of course people want to be able to play their fucking old shit on the new shit. Fucking Sony. Dipshits.
Yeah,
Anyway.
this wouldn't be an issue if you just did what what Nintendo did and changed their fucking storage system every console.
Just every time, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Then you don't have people you have people asking for ports. You don't have people asking for backwards compatibility.
right. Exactly. Like, you're so right.
That is very like I didn't even think about
That's so
that. Yeah,
true. That's so fucking true. Wow. Sneaky Nintendo.
Nintendo got
Smart.
away with it somehow.
Smart.
let's finish this up. I don't need this much bile in my system.
All right. Speaking of bile in my system, Metal Gear Solid remake rumors. Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 for PC rated in Taiwan. So I like Metal Gear Solid. Do you guys care about Metal Gear Solid at all?
I have the like compilation that they put out on the PS3. I have not played it yet.
Okay, so they're amazing. Some of the best fucking games ever. Konami's if these remake rumors are true, it means Konami's got like fucking nothing left, and this is like, because after Metal Gear Strive? No, Metal Gear with the zombies.
Oh, Survive, yeah.
Survive. Yes, thank you. After that fucking absolute disaster, Konami's just been a pachinko company for a while, and I think something like this along with like the Silent Hill reboot rumors, might be like Konami trying to make a return to form, where they're at least trying to grab your nostalgia and start putting out fucking video games again that people actually want to play. Because with the I guess these ports for PC rated in Taiwan, I would imagine they're thinking about it, thinking about Metal Gear in some way. So I don't know. I'm not really excited. I don't want to.
I should go and play all the Metal Gear games.
You should. They're fucking great. They're weird, and they're no two playthroughs are exactly the same. You know, they're that kind of game. And they're just wild. Plus, if you know a lot about politics and military history and a lot of that shit, like I do, they're very they're just fun, because Genius Kojumbo is clearly a
Genius Kojumbo.
like a government military otaku. He loves that shit. He clearly did his fucking research.
Yeah.
But they're good, man. And then once you play the Solid series, play those games, and then play Revengeance, and just see how insane and wild that is.
Seems legit.
What the fuck is this?
I found a picture of you. My bad. Sorry.
I prevented a murder. Okay, I'll put this in there. Alright.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I was like staring. I was like, okay. But what else? Former Lab Zero devs form new studio, Future Club.
I'm excited to see what comes out of this.
Me too.
Actually popped up on my Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is surprising since you're the only thing that pops up on my Twitter. So.
I mean, this is cool. I'm glad these guys basically immediately found work after Mike Z just kind of burned the whole house down.
Yeah. That's a good analogy for what happened.
Pretty much.
Like
And,
this-
and even since, like, a bunch of more stuff is like people are just leaking shit and just posting shit and just being like, yeah, this is the kind of guy he is.
This is my house, and I can do what I want with it. But you set it on fire. I can do what I want with it.
It's like kicking everybody out. It's like burning the house down. Fuck this place. It's my house, and I'm gonna burn it down. I don't know, cause so Indivisible, I assume is just kind of done. There's not going to be any more updates to that ever again.
Probably not.
No sequel.
Are you actually upset about that?
I mean, kinda.
Okay.
As much as I was kind of disappointed by that game, it still had a lot of aspects to it that I was like,
Do you think there was story for a sequel, or do you think just a same universe, different setting type thing?
you know, it's one of those things where if they never made another one, you could be like, yeah, that's a good ending.
Okay.
You know, or at least a pretty satisfying ending. Like, they fight like the creator of the universe.
Okay.
You know, so it's like, how much further can you really go than that? You know, so really, there is space for a sequel where you basically just kind of, instead of getting a lot of the, there would definitely be returning characters, but you would just get like a bunch of new characters to be on your team or whatever, right?
Okay.
There's definitely like, because the game is definitely like character design the game. Like, every character in that game was like handcrafted to be somebody's OC, right? Like, everybody has very, very specific things, a very, very specific backstory. Like, all these things that are like, if this was like, if you remove them from the story, they would be the main character of like their own story. They wouldn't just end up as like the background character of somebody else's story.
Yeah.
You know, so there's definitely room for a sequel. And I think I usually rag on sequels when there's too many or they're like unnecessary. But Indivisible could definitely use like a sequel to just tighten up gameplay
Okay.
and shit, you know, and maybe just like some elements just to make the traversal better. Like, there's room there for better shit.
Okay.
So I absolutely would have liked to see an Indivisible 2, I think.
So
But that's never happening, I think.
yes, like, or Indivisible 2 in a different setting type thing.
That like, cause they kind of mention that there are other lands that you don't see, and even on the map there are places that you just don't go to.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and the world feels very like, you get the
Open-ended.
sense that it's way bigger, but it also you feel like you explore such a small part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay.
So yeah, you could definitely go to some different. Because again, even the places they go to are very like, they're levels. They're very specifically designed like worlds.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh well, if there's like a, super. It's basically just like Earth. So here's the Aztec people. Here's the African people. Here's the American type people. Here's the British people. Just pick a culture and then design an area after it, and you've got a new level basically. So there's more there. There's potential the series has.
Well, let's hope it gets a spiritual
I wish
successor.
I wish it wasn't like murdered as it was fucking crawling out of the water.
Survived the car crash, but unfortunately,
Oh no!
someone
I'm
shot it
talking
on the
about
bank. Oh well. Anyway,
It was growing its legs and crawling out of the water, and then Mike Z showed up and just kicked it back in.
squashed it underneath his boot.
Yeah.
Well,
Mike
let's hope
Z
it gets
goes-
like a
Mike Z
spiritual
goes back in
successor.
time and stops mankind from evolving.
State the world isn't. Maybe we could use that.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
All right.
Yo, I think that's a podcast, guys.
I think so.
Where the fuck can we find you, Cameron?
You can find me at I Press the Buttons on YouTube and Twitch. You can find me at IPT Buttons on Twitter.
Where can we find you, Derek?
You can find me at Cam2nd on Twitch and YouTube, and I think it's real_CS on Twitter.
awesome. And you can find me, Mr. Urban Buddha, on Twitter, and on YouTube, and the other me, Super Urban Buddha, on Twitch.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for listening. Go fuck yourself.